Hello students, welcome to the 47th class in linear algebra. So in this video lecture, I will discuss a very important topic based on linear transformation and which is known as a isomorphic vector spaces. So when can I say the two vector spaces are isomorphic to each other? So first of all, let me to take the definition of isomorphic. So for this, I will consider two vector spaces, right? So let me to consider two vector spaces. The first one, that is a V over the field F and W over the field F, right, over the same field, right, they are called isomorphic if and only if there exists a linear transformation. There exists a linear transformation T which is defined from V to W such that this map is bijective, and we already know what is a bijective, that is 1 1 and on 2. So that is the definition of an isomorphic vector spaces. And now we consider a very important theorem which is based on this. So the theorem says prove that two finite dimensional vector spaces V over the field F and W over the field F are isomorphic if and only if they have the same dimension. So the theorem need to be proved in both the ways, right? So let me to take the proof firstly in one way, that is I will consider that V is isomorphic to W, and we can denote it like this. So this is the symbol which is used to denote isomorphic. So V is isomorphic to W, right? That is what I will be considering. So if V is isomorphic to W, so that implies by the definition there exists a linear transformation T which is defined from V to W such that this T is bijective, that is T is 1 1 and on 2. And what we need to prove? We need to prove that they have the same dimension. So to prove that is a dimension of V is equal to the dimension of W. And now in order to study the concept of dimension, what is dimension? That is the cardinality of bases. So at the end of the day, I have to consider the bases also, right? So since V is a finite dimensional vector space, so it has a finite basis set. Now let me to consider the basis set to be B1. So let B1 be the basis set and which is containing n vectors, right? So be a basis of capital V, right? So that the dimension of V is n, because we are to consider a finite dimensional vector space. Now consider B2 that is containing the elements, that is T of V1, T of V2 and so on to T of Vn. Clearly this is a subset of W, right, and having n elements. Now what we are interested to prove? We are interested to prove that this B2, so we want to prove that B2 is a basis of W, right? B2 is a basis of W. In order to prove anything to be basis, what I need to show, we need to prove two things. The one is a linearly independent and second is the span. So that is the two parts it will be proved. So let me to show that B2 is linearly independent first of all. So B2 is linearly independent and apply the definition of linearly independent now. For this I will be considering a linear combination. So let me consider the linear combination, that is alpha 1 T of V1 plus alpha 2 T of V2 up till so on to alpha n T of Vn. This is equal to 0. Now since T is a linear transformation, so apply the definition of a linear transformation, that is T of alpha 1 V1 plus T of alpha 2 V2 plus so on to T of alpha n Vn. Now again you can apply the definition of a linear transformation again, that is T of alpha 1 plus V1 plus alpha 2 plus V2 up till so on to finite to Vn. Now this is equal to 0 and we know T of 0 is also 0. But T is 1 1, that is T is bijective now, so it is 1 1 and on 2 also. So I will use the definition of 1 1 here, that is if two images are equal, it implies the elements are equal. So that is the concept I have used up here. So you have to use this tool, that T is 1 1. Now we use another fact. What was the another fact? That B1 is a basis of capital V, right? And V1 was containing the n elements, that is a V1 V2 up till so on to Vn. and B1 was a set which is containing n elements, right? And since B1 is a basis, so can I say these elements are linearly independent? And if they are linearly independent, and if I consider any linear combination of these elements, so it implies all the scalars have to be equal to 0. So from here I will say, after this step, since my B1 is a basis of capital V, so this implies all the scalars, that is alpha 1 is equals to alpha 2 up till so on to alpha n, all of them should be equal to 0. And if all the scalars are 0 and I have considered the linear combination to be equal to 0, so what is that? That is nothing but the definition of a linearly independent. So this implies T of V1, T of V2 up till so on to T of Vn, they are linearly independent, right? So if that is, what is this? This is nothing but the set B2. So the set B2 is a linearly independent set, right? Now in the another part, what I am interested to prove is, that is, I want to show that B2 spans the space W, right? Now in the first part I have used up the definition of a 1 1. Now I want to use the definition of onto. So since T is onto, so what is the definition of onto? So for this I will consider, let any arbitrary element y coming from capital W. This implies there will definitely exist a x in capital V such that this y is nothing but T of x. That is the definition of onto, right? Now because my set B1, what is my set B1? That is B V1 V2 up till so on to Vn. So this set is a basis of V. So any arbitrary element x, so this x is coming from capital V, and what are the bases of this V? So they are V1 V2 and so on to Vn. So this element x can be written in the linear combination of these vectors. So any arbitrary element can be written in the linear combination of the elements of the basis, right? Now what is y? Y is equal to T of x, and what is the value of x? So just substitute this value of x here. So we can say y is equal to T of what is x, that is beta 1 v1 plus beta 2 v2 plus so on to beta n vn. Yes or no? Now because T is a linear transformation, T is a linear transformation, so can I say y is nothing but beta 1 T of v1 plus beta 2 T of v2 plus so on to beta n T of vn, right? So this y is written in the linear combination of the elements of B2. Thus I will say that this B2 generates or spans, or spans W, right? Already we have proved that it is linearly independent. So from these two things, can I say B2 is a basis of W? For the dimension of W has to be equal to n, which implies the dimension of W is equals to the dimension of V. Now this theorem needs to be proved in both the ways. So conversely it should also hold. So conversely what I will assume let the dimension of V is equal to the dimension of W and let it be equal to n, right? And what I have to prove here now? I have to prove that V is isomorphic to W. So and since dimension of V is equal to the dimension of W, which is equal to n, so definitely there will exist bases, hence there exist bases of V and W, each having n elements, and let me to consider that basis set, that is a B1 and B2. So what is B1? That is V1 V2 up till so on to Vn, and what is your B2? Let it be W1 W2 up till so on to Wn. So they are the bases of V and W respectively. So this is the basis of V and W respectively, right? Now let me to consider any arbitrary element small v coming from capital V, right? So it implies there exist scalars alpha 1, alpha 2 up till so on to alpha n coming from the field, such that this vector can be represented in the linear combination, right? That is alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2 up till so on to alpha n vn. And why can I do this? Because we know that b1 spans capital V, right? Now we define T of V equals to alpha 1 w1 plus alpha 2 w2 up till so on to alpha n wn. So that is what we have defined. Now what I have to show? I have to show that this T, first point, that this T is well defined. Whatever I have defined is well defined, right? Now, since all these scalars alpha 1, alpha 2 up till so on to alpha n are the unique scalars, so this linear combination, that is alpha 1 w1 plus alpha 2 w2 plus so on to alpha n wn, is unique element of w, right? So this is a unique element of w. So this implies T of V, which is this element only, right, is a unique element of W for any given vector V coming from capital V. So that is nothing but the definition of a well defined. So that is T is well defined. Now what I have to show? We have to show that this map is bijective. But for that, first of all, I have to prove that this map is a linear transformation. So the second part is I have to prove that this map, whatever I have defined, is a linear transformation. And for the linear transformation, again the same concept. I will consider x, y to be any arbitrary elements coming from capital V, alpha, beta be any arbitrary element coming from field, right? Now x can be represented in the linear combination, so let it be alpha I vi, I running from 1 to n. Similarly, this y can be written in the linear combination, that is maybe bi vi, I running from 1 to n, right? For these ai's and bi's, they are coming from field, right? So this implies alpha x plus beta y, right? So what it will be? It will be summation I running from 1 to n alpha ai plus beta bi multiply with vi, right? Now apply t on both sides. So this implies t of alpha x plus beta y, this is equal to t of whole of this thing, that is a summation I running from 1 to n alpha ai plus beta bi into vi. Now by the definition of T, what we have defined, this T of this thing is nothing but, just see above. So T of any vector is defined in this way, right? So from 1 I can say this thing. So by the definition 1, so here you can say 1. What can I say? This is nothing but, that is all the scalars I running from 1 to n alpha ai plus beta bi, this should be multiplied with wi. So that is the definition of a T, right? Now just separate these both of them. So I running from 1 to n alpha ai multiply with wi plus summation I running from 1 to n beta multiply with bi into wi, right? Now take the scalars outside, that is alpha is independent of I, so you can take it out. So I running from 1 to n ai into wi, right? And plus again beta is independent of I, you can take it outside, I running from 1 to n bi into wi. Again apply the definition of a T now. Again apply the definition of T. Can I say this is nothing but T of summation ai vi, right? I running from 1 to n. Similarly this is beta into T of summation I running from 1 to n bi into vi, by the definition of T again. So you can say by the definition of T. And what is this? What is this? This is nothing but alpha T of, we have considered this to be x, right, plus beta into T of y. So you started from t of alpha x plus beta y, and finally you reach that alpha times t of x plus beta times t of y. So therefore t is a linear transformation. So that is the second step which was required. Now the third thing which I have to prove here is that is t is 1 1, right? So for t is 1 1, I will consider the two images are equal, so let t of x equals to t of y, and finally I wish to prove that x equals to y for all x y coming from V. And what is the value of t of x and t of y? Just substitute the value of x and y. So what is the value of x? That is summation I varying from 1 to n, right? ai into vi. Similarly, this is t of y. What is the value of y? That is summation I running from 1 to n bi into vi. Now apply the definition of a linear transformation. What it will be? It will be summation I running from 1 to n ai into wi. This thing is equal to summation I running from 1 to n bi into wi. So bring all the terms on one side. You can take summation to be common, right? It will be ai minus bi into wi equals to 0. Fine with this? And now we already know this is scalar times w1 plus scalar times w2 and so on. Now we know that this set w1 w2 up till so on to wn is a linearly independent set. So this is a linearly independent set. So if it is linearly independent, of course the scalars have to be equal to 0 by the definition of a linearly independent. So this implies ai minus bi is equals to 0 for all I, right, running from 1 to n. And if ai minus bi equals to 0, so can I say ai is equals to bi again for all n, right? Now just multiply with vi first on both sides, and now take the summation on both sides, and I running from 1 to n. So that thing you have to do on both sides. And what is this? Can I say this is nothing but x and this is nothing but y? So in the beginning you consider t of x equals to t of y, and finally you prove that x equals to y. So if two images are equal, so it implies the elements are equal, so that is t is 1 1. And the last part, that is the fourth part, which I have to prove is t is onto. So in order to prove that t is onto, let me consider any arbitrary element w that is coming from capital W, right? So this implies w can be written in the linear combination of the elements of B2. Why can I do this thing? Because we have already assumed that B2 is the basis of W, right? That's why I can represent any arbitrary element in the linear combination of the elements of the basis, right? So this implies this small w can be written in the linear combination. So let me take the constant as c1 times w1 plus c2 times w2 up till so on to cn times wn, right? Where all ci's, they are coming from field. Is a vector space. So if I consider small v to be any arbitrary element coming from capital V, now this small v can be written into the linear combination of the elements of vi's, right? Now apply t on both sides. So what will be t of v? So t of v will be t of this c1 v1 plus c2 v2 up till so on to cn vn. Fine. Now apply the definition. Now apply the definition. By the definition of t, what is t of anything? So this is nothing but c1 w1 plus c2 w2 and so on to cn wn. So this is by the definition of t. That is how I have defined t. And what is this c1 w1 c2 w2 and all? So that is nothing but this w, right? So thus t is onto. Fine. So therefore I will say that we have a linear transformation t which is defined from v to w, which came out to be 1 1 and onto, right? So this implies it is bijective, and can I say this is nothing but they are isomorphic to each other. I hope you have enjoyed this video session. For more such videos, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and do not forget to press the bell icon. Thank you so much, students. Thank you.